Hey there folks, I'm Sanjana, a content marketer from Saleshandy, and in this video we're going to be learning about how we can write the perfect follow-up email after getting no response. So did you know that most marketers and salespeople these days give up after the initial attempt of trying to close a prospect? Most of them assume that if the first email is not eliciting a response, it means the prospect is not interested. However, studies have shown that only 2% of sales are made with the initial point of contact. And what does this mean? It means that you are missing out on 98% of deals because you're not following up. In fact, several studies have shown that follow-up emails increase response rates. One such study found that their first email got a response rate of 18%, their fourth email got a response rate of 13%, and much to their surprise, their sixth email in the follow-up cycle got a whopping response rate of 27%. So do you see how effective follow-up emails are? There could be a million reasons as to why your prospects didn't reply to your email. They could be busy, or they had a cluttered inbox, or they just simply missed out on your email. Whatever the reason may be, follow-ups are very, very effective. They help in building trust, increasing conversion rates, they help in filtering your audience, you're able to gauge the interest levels of your prospects, and they build your organization's credibility, and of course they are a source for future referrals. So before we get into how you can write a follow-up email, let's first discuss when you should send a follow-up email and how long should you wait before you send a follow-up email. The short answer is that it depends on who you are emailing. If you're emailing someone extremely busy, like a CEO for example, then I recommend waiting for 2 weeks at least. Otherwise, you can wait for 2 to 3 days before you send the first follow-up email. Your waiting period between each email should then be gradually increased depending on the number of follow-ups in the sequence that you plan on having. And we recommend that your follow-up email sequence have a total of 7 touch points. Okay, so now let's get into how you can write a follow-up email after getting no response. So the first and foremost thing you want to do is you want to set a goal for your follow-up email campaign, and you need to be able to communicate this goal to your prospect. So your goal could be to book a meeting, or have someone sign up for a free trial, or to just simply close the deal. Once you have a clear goal in mind, ensure that you communicate it to your prospect. Don't just blindly email your prospect without having a clear goal. Always assume that your prospects are busy and you don't want to waste their time. So getting to the point shows them that you don't want to waste their time. The next thing you want to do is come up with a clever subject line. One of the first things your prospects will lay their eyes upon is, in fact, the subject line. Don't make it sound too spammy. This will end up triggering the spam filter, and trust me, you do not want that. I also recommend adding a pre-header text to your email to make it really stand out. Moving on, the third step would be to write an attention-grabbing introductory line. So because you're writing a follow-up email, you need to jog the prospect's memory a little. So for example, you could email them something like, "Hey, first name, I emailed you last week about the topic of your email." And prospects are actually more likely to reply to people that have contacted them before. The next thing you want to do is you want to work on strengthening your value. Every email in your follow-up sequence should provide some sort of value to the prospect. Otherwise, the prospects will not be interested. How do you add value? So you can add value by sharing resources, you can share customer testimonials, reviews from other users, their pain points, blogs, etc. Whatever you decide to share with them, just ensure that it is relevant to their industry or business, and it should act as an asset to them. At the end of your email, you have to add a call to action. Your CTA should be clear. Don't leave any room for ambiguity whatsoever. Don't overdo it. Don't ask them for a very, very big ask very early on. Instead, start with something smaller, like check out my website, reply to this email if you have any questions, let's schedule a short meeting. Just ensure that your CTA is very, very clear. The very last thing you want to do is automate your follow-up sequence. Sending out emails manually and then tracking them one by one is going to take up a lot of time and a lot of resources. I recommend using tools like Saleshandy that allow you to automate your entire follow-up process. Saleshandy also allows you to create trigger-based action sequences. So if, for example, someone hasn't replied to your email, the system will automatically send them an email based on that trigger. And if, for example, someone hasn't opened your email or replied to it, then those triggers will set off the corresponding emails to those actions. So that's how you write a follow-up email. Also remember to try to personalize as much as possible. Personalization can do a lot of wonders for your email campaign. And if in the end you are unable to get a response, then I recommend finding another person within that organization you can send emails to. Also, another point to add is try to diversify your channels. Contact them through LinkedIn or Twitter or their blogs or other social media platforms, wherever you can, and also keep your emails short and to the point. Good luck writing your follow-up email sequence. Hope this video was a huge help to you. Good luck and see you next time.